Okay, so I have Nefer at level 90 out of 90 with a level 9 talent. I need to do a proper rotation here, look at her rotation time, and then we'll talk. I don't know which way I'm teetering, whether she's a little bit not there, or is she there, and then we'll pop this, and then E-skill, pop that, and there we go. Alright, so that was that. That was all of her or should have been all our damage, but I think we might have missed one, whatever. You know, we'll consider that all her damage. I'm gonna go now look at the rotation time, because I really need to understand what her rotation time is realistically in game. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I just looked into it. 17 seconds is the rotation time that I got. Not good. Although there is a way to, you know, sort of switch it up to where it's not 17 seconds. Because the thing is, as soon as you land a Nefer charge attack, do we have Viridin do? Yeah, we do. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm pretty sure the way that this can work, this dash cancel. So you see how it's still like kind of going after even I switch back to Lauma? I think 16 seconds is possible. So if I go back to my editing software and I say as soon as we hit the final charge attack, so as soon as we get to the final charge attack, I think give it a time, and then there we go. We have full control of our character. It's 16 seconds. I have full control of my character, 16 seconds. Okay, now, what I've seen so far is we hit about 300,000 across the board for everything, right? Just 300,000 per her charge attack, which is pretty good. And that's 1.8 million. So if I go to, you know, a calculator, I'm like, all right, 1.8 million divided by 16 seconds, that's 112,000 DPS. It's not bad. I don't necessarily get where people are getting the DPS. Well, actually, there is another way it can be increased. And that way is through her burst. Because you use her burst, and her burst can do damage. It genuinely can. I've seen it do good damage. And I mean, look at the scaling on this thing. Where else have we seen 700% elemental mastery scaling? Let me go to, dude, Alhaitham is the only elemental mastery scaler in recent time that I can think of. So yeah, Alhaitham would be the only like character I could think of. Like, so let's see what he does. What does he do? Because with Nefer, I think it's a couple. Is it a couple hits? 1 hit, 2 hit. Yeah, dude. I mean, we're talking, this is also level 2, man. Like, I gotta pull up her level 10. So, Alhaitham does a couple instances of damage. I guess if you have 3 mirrors, he can do 10. Okay, so 10 would be 2,000% of his attack and 1,075 elemental mastery, and that would be Alhaitham's burst, assuming you just multiply it by 10, whatever. How much is Nefer's? How much at level 10? What is Nefer looking at? So 1 hit from her is doing 400% of her attack and 800% of her elemental mastery, and then the second hit is 600% of her attack plus 1,200 elemental mastery, and then she also has damage bonus for per Veil of Falsehood stack, which is gained, I think, whenever you absorb one of those little Dendro cores. Let me see. She can absorb Seeds of Deceit within a certain range, gaining 1 stack of Veil of Falsehood. And, you know, she could reach 3 stacks, basically, and then she also gets extra elemental mastery. So, you basically do all your charge attacks and you keep going for the first E-skill. Pop her burst. Her burst is then gonna have a lot of Veil of Falsehood stacks. This is pretty good. I don't know, man. It's pretty good. And also, this is my preferred team at this point. I do not like the Nahida variant. The Nahida variant, as of right now, I consider dead in the water, because if you're using that, it'll work in Stygian in some cases. If you can kill the boss fast enough, it can work in some cases, right? So, you know, she can do pretty well there. So I'm going to go ahead and... I was going to go into Stygian. Let's go into Abyss, I guess. I don't really know what to do. I mean, they increase bloom damage here, but I guess I'll go into the second half, assuming I can. But yeah, I do like that. Although I definitely do like Nefer a lot more, but she needs a proper sustain on her team rather than Kuki, because as much as I love Kuki, she is genuinely, like, you know, one of my favorite characters design-wise. She's not good. She's not good. It just isn't good. You could also replace Kuki with Kokomi if you needed to, right? Kokomi is a viable option. It is actually a pretty good option. Where is my... Okay, so let's go ahead and start this. Now, I am gonna have to question like the Viridant stacks. Alright, let me pop the Q. Alright, Lauma again. Go ahead with this. E-skill with Ino. Well, we almost two-turned him. We did almost two-turn him. It's great, great. I do probably need to build Ino, but at the same time, yeah. Alright. Well, given my final judgment on this character, I mean, I think right now, this slot is, like, guaranteed to get replaced. And Ino is the only character where I'm kind of like, you are probably gonna need Ino on one of these teams, right? So I'm gonna put you guys in my situation, right? So my situation, I have Flins, I have Nefer, right? I want to use both of them. Columbina comes out, she can only go on one of their teams, and both of their teams feel like they need it. However, I would say, Ino's really kind of good for either or. Honestly, Ino's not the problem on these teams. Like, she's really good. Genuinely, she's just kind of really good. There's not really, like, you can't complain about her. Really, what it is it's Kuki slot, Nahida slot, whichever character you're putting here. And then it's also Sucrose's slot on Flynn's team that needs to get replaced. Like, that is the real problem area. Like, obviously, these characters, I mean, I've seen people talk about the way that Nefer does damage and, you know, talking about, oh, she's like number 3 or she's like number 2. It's hard for me to say that's true, but at the same time, I don't want to, like, disagree with it, but I do feel like I kind of just have to say, like, no, because, like, Kuki is not good enough, man. I'll try maybe a Nefa in the crowned video once I crown this character. I also do want to get her burst up for damage because this is obviously to me a very important part of pushing her above that boundary because I had this hit 100,000 on, I'm assuming, the second hit. I'm assuming Nefer will look really strong with this fully built up, and I do think that this is a good, a pretty good part of her kit. So this is my build right now. She has, what, 80% crit rate? Not necessarily something I want, not something I like, but she does, like, her pieces, I've tried, chat. I have tried so many times to get proper good pieces, but they don't happen. They just aren't happening. It's fine. I've made 2 now. I think I'm happy with this one. This is fine to me. This is all the stats that she needs. Well, I guess she does want attack percent, so maybe. But I'm surprised her attack isn't, like, more heavily a part of her kit. Like, we can't, like, look past the fact that, well, this actually is, like, 800%. What was it? What was the specific, like, numbers here? Basically 1,000% of her attack as her burst. 1,000%. Flynn's is a little, don't use that as his thing. Show me yours. Oh, it's just a Verissa Q. It's not like, you know, that's not bad at all. I mean, she doesn't have nearly as many buffers, obviously. Verissa hits like 300,000 on this sometimes if you're lucky, upwards of above 200,000. She can. Yeah. I don't think Nefer's gonna hit that hard though. Well, actually no, because Verissa doesn't have damage bonus per Veil of Falsehood stack, so I don't know, because she also has Elemental Mastery scaling. This could probably hit pretty hard. I definitely was underrating this when I initially was, like, looking at her. This is because I thought it wasn't even a part of her rotation. Flat out, I didn't. But now I see it like this is probably a good part of her rotation and what puts her above. But the number one thing, though, I've noticed is that removing Nahida not only gave Lauma energy issues, but it also gave Nefer some energy issues. I used to have the burst up, no problem. But now, not so much. I mean, obviously, 106% energy recharge, not really something that, you know, is a must. Oh my god, you gotta have a lot of energy recharge. And then, obviously, Lauma, she can go ahead, if I'm really desperate, I can go ahead and use the event weapon on her, which isn't too bad. It's only, like, what, 100 elemental mastery off, but it gives you so much energy recharge. I will most likely, very soon, level this up enough to get it to 90 and put that on my Lauma permanently, because I do think I've ran into, if I'm trying to use this team, even with the double Dendro, I have ran into issues where Lauma doesn't get her burst up, which is surprising because it's a 60 cost burst. It really shouldn't be an issue, but there has been issues, right? So I don't want to run into those issues. overall, very, very strong. Number 2, I haven't like looked specifically at the DPS numbers enough, but if I were to go back at Flynn's like damage, I haven't done the damage sheets in a while though. Do I have it in a title? Any titles? To say the least, you know, C1 R1 Flins, 130,000 DPS. C1 or R1, you know, Nefer is at 112 at worst, because you're not counting her at her, you know, level 9, and then you're also not counting her burst, or you're counting her at level 9 and you're not counting her burst. Kind of, yeah, we'll see. I'm good. All right, so what kind? All right, what kind of damage does she need to do to beat Flynn's? So let's say it's 2 million damage, right? Every 16 seconds. 2 million damage, assuming you get a little bit more damage from leveling this up, and 200-ish, maybe even a little bit above. That'll put you at 125,000 DPS. And I should also mention, my build's not that good. My build, not that good. I do forget to mention that. I have what? Let's go ahead and see. I have a lot of Elemental Mastery rolls, but I have 1 crit rate roll here. It's not really that great. I also have 1 crit damage roll here. And then, when did I put this on her, and why did I not level it up? I mean, I get why, like, it's not that good, but like, this is just level 0. I don't think it's mattered. Has it mattered? I don't know. I think we're good. We did lose out on a little bit of damage there, though. Like, we did, because obviously Nefer does do raw danger damage. So, and obviously I'm not being super, you know, like, I'm not looking at all her damage that she can do on the team. Simple as that. I think this character can easily outperform Flynn's. And, okay, so she could outperform Flynn's on not only, you know, with his C1 R1, but also with a Nefer with R1. She can outperform Flynn's like that. I think so. I think an R1 Lauma with just, or R1 Nefer with Lauma, and then, you know, 2 4-stars, which isn't hard to have. Obviously, I know C6, you would need to summon on Flynn's banner, or who was it, Yelan? Someone's banner. You would need to summon on their banner. But, for what I saw, you know, I'll take it. I will take it. You know, I'm very excited to raise this character up for the last little bits. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.